Movies cost money. My name is SC. This is Kevin. And we're here to talk about Wreck-It Ralph 2. Or no, Ralph Breaks the Internet, formerly known as Wreck-It Ralph 2. So your initial thoughts on this movie?
Good but weird.
The movie is bizarre, and it's good. Like, there were surprises, which is nice. You know, after the trailers, you get this idea of what you think it might be. You see,
we kind of thought we were going to get watered down Wreck-It Ralph 1.
Yeah, with more, you know, just more with Disney being like, here's all of our stuff. We have Star Wars, guys, and we have the Disney princesses. And there's, you know, obviously, you know, I love the princesses, and you know, what's funny is they were in it for a lot less than I thought they were going to be, which is both a good and a bad thing because I would have loved watching even, you know, half an hour of just them interacting.
Just from how it goes, I figured that was all we were getting, and then we actually got a little bit more than I thought we were going to get.
Oh yeah, okay.
I thought it was just going to be just that one scene that's in the trailers.
Oh okay, yeah, no, they do have, you know, a couple of scenes, and what they have to say and do is golden. But
yeah, it's actually really good. It's the movie does its own thing, but it also does a real good way of satirizing a few things about Disney, which you don't get to see from Disney that much.
It's meta in its own way, and doesn't, you know, disrespect any of the characters, even the ones who are a little bit more ridiculous. It just kind of, you know, loves on them in this kind of fanboyish way, because at the end of the day, these still are programs who live in the internet. They are their characters, but they're also just these avatars that exist. You know, you go backstage, you see Grumpy. You know, I guess it's like they're at a convention. He's like, hey, this is, you know, and that's part's in one of the commercials, so it's not a spoiler. But yeah, all these Disney characters and Disney properties that exist in this place.
It's kind of like the neat thing you got with the House of Mouse, where you got to see, like, what would they do if they were just playing off of each other?
Yeah, it's just all in this big shameless, you know, kind of cash in, but also just, you know, the fact that we get to enjoy these characters we like anyway. We already go to conventions dressed up as our favorite characters, interacting with them. You know, when I go to Disneyland, I know that that's not Cinderella I'm talking to. It's not Cinderella.
But it didn't feel shallow either. It didn't feel like some movies where they're just like, look, it's Bill. Don't you know Bill from that movie?
Yes. It
felt genuine and fun.
Yes, the genuine and fun could be the other title of this movie. Because like the first Wreck-It Ralph, what they didn't do was overindulge and just, you know, sell out. The way that
people were actually angry that there weren't more video game references. I'm like, no, it was really cool, and they kind of just sold you on that. But I liked the giving you jokes and humor that wasn't just. I actually wanted more of their original ideas that were parodies of stuff.
Yeah, you know, because Sonic the Hedgehog exists, you know, and he, you know, says a couple of things. And you'll see Hubert over here. He says a couple of things. There's Street Fighter characters over here. All that stuff is fine, but the big main chunks of the movie are in Wreck-It Ralph's game, which is, you know, in a bit made up place. Same thing with you know, Hero's Duty
in the first movie.
With the original movie, and then Sugar Rush. These are all made up games, so they are exploring their own worlds. And in this one, they stop by Oh My Disney site, and you see the princesses and stuff like that. And you'll see, they have, you know, the giant Pinterest place. They have the giant Amazon place. And it's all these things that you recognize. eBay plays a part in it, but these things don't overshadow the actual plot or the new stuff that's in the movie. There's still new stuff to see. The internet itself and the characters who reside in it are really good. I loved how, because there's 4 main new characters here. There is Yes, played by Taraji P. Henson. There is Shank, played by Gal Gadot. There is Spamsley.
J.P. Spamsley.
J.P. Spamsley, played by Bill Hader. Then there's Nosemore, played by Alan Tudyk. And these 4 characters are really good. Like, I can see.
Yeah, it's crazy because you have Shank is from a GTA knockoff. Nosemore is like a Google search bar.
Google search bar, yeah.
Spamley is basically, he's the program behind a pop-up.
Yeah, he's like a spam bot. It's funny, like, seeing his life and how, like, they could have easily just made him
terrible or a villain, but he actually,
it seems like he's kind of like a working man who's he's in some shady business, but he's not a bad guy. I like that they didn't go for the easy bait, including with what I thought they were going to do with a couple of the characters. I was like, well, you know, what are they, you know, where could they possibly go with this? And they didn't do what I thought they were going to do. The big end game of this movie was very different.
It's almost like faking out the fake out. You're all like, no.
Yeah,
this is genuine, or we're doing this with this character.
Yeah, and like I was glad that there were actual surprises in this film. The ending being one, and then one fantastic scene in the middle, which I want to talk about so bad, but I'll wait, a month or so before I speak out loud and talk on it. But I was like, this is really happening in this movie, and but at the core of that, this is a movie. I mean, what this does is expand on the relationship of Ralph and Vanellope in a really, really great way that will. The same way Inside Out had a really big message to say at the very end, which was very, very potent. This one has a little more, I think, glitz and glam, but the end message is very important. Even in my own life, I've seen this kind of thing happen. And I was like, wow, I hope enough people watch this and be like, oh, shoot, that could be me. Or...
One thing I do want to bring up is... it's something you saw a lot in the 80s and sometimes 90s animated movies where there would be really just random dark stuff. Like, this movie actually does kind of a good balance of giving stuff for the adults to appreciate and the kids to appreciate.
Yes.
But then there'll be these weird random strangely really dark moments, like some of the characters in the knockoff Grand Theft Auto world or some of the more undesirable denizens of the internet, and you're like, man, that was really random and kind of dark.
Yes.
For a Disney movie.
Yeah, there were a couple of surprises there as well. I was like, oh, okay.
This is happening, all right. Don't have any nightmares, kids.
Like that moment in Teen Titans Go where they try to erase superheroes, so they save Batman's parents. From being killed, and so Batman never exists as a superhero. But when they go back to the present, everything is wrong because no heroes exist. So they go back and they have to redo everything, and they push
Batman's parents into Crime Alley.
And then you see all the gunshots going off, and young Bruce is like, and the Teen Titans are like, yeah, it's just so. I was like, oh,
that just happened.
And it's hilarious, but I'm like, oh, good lord.
It's like kids can take a lot and they may not even care, but you're like, wow!
That only works because we've seen Batman's parents get killed so many times.
Yeah, we're numb.
We're numb to it. So we're like, okay, we'll take this.
Kids are born going like, yeah, Batman's parents died. Darth Vader's Luke's father.
But at the end of the day, is it better than the first one? I mean, I wouldn't say no. The first one is its own amazing thing. It's much more streamlined.
It's also unfair to compare it.
It really is. It does something different. It's expanding on this mythos, and so they couldn't. I'm so glad they didn't try to just redo the first thing again. Well, it's worked the first time.
It's like having a kid. You're like, oh, it's a toddler now. What is this? You're not going to top the miracle of childbirth. It's just a toddler.
Yeah, it's so where. Yeah, it's not fair to compare to the first, and is it better or worse? What it does is equally important, especially with the big end game, and what that means for relationships and friendships in general. I think it's healthy for people and growing people to watch this and really, really take in what this movie's message is at the end. I think people would be healthier for it. Wreck-It Ralph 2 is not therapy, but if you
it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of a lesson. And that's one of the best ways to do it. You learn something, and you didn't want to learn anything, but you did anyways, and you're not offended by it.
I ain't come here for no lessons, but you're right. All right. So, verdict is this movie is worth the money. Take your kids. Take your friends. Don't take very young kids. But take your friends' kids. Thank you guys for watching. Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph 2? What is your favorite video game movie? I might have done that one already. No. Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph 2? What is your favorite Disney princess? I want to know. Put it in the comments. And we'll catch you guys next time on Movies Cost Money.